Oliver Sacks, a name that reverberates through the corridors of neuroscience, and lecturer alike referred to by the New York Times as the poet laureate of medicine. He was a medical doctor, a member of the Royal College of Physicians, and author and a professor of neurology at NYU. Join us as we delve into the extraordinary life and enduring legacy of this remarkable individual. On July 9, 1993, in London, England, Oliver Sacks was born as the youngest of four children. His father, Samuel Sacks, was a journal practitioner, and his mother, Muriel Elsie Landau, was one of the first female surgeons in England. Although Oliver was born into a wealthy family, his childhood was bombarded by the shadows of war as Germany began a sustained bombing of London. 8-year-old Oliver and his older brother were sent to a boarding school in the English Midlands until 1943. However, it was not better at the school. In his first autobiography, Uncle Tungsten Memories of a Chemical Boyhood, he spoke about how he and his brother Michael barely survived on a mere amount of turnips and beetroot and suffered cruel punishments at the hands of a sadistic headmaster. This dramatic experience has been attributed to his severe shyness and discomfort in normal social situations. He had also struggled to recognize faces, a rare disorder at the time, but was identified as having face blindness and prosopagnosia thanks to the advancement of medical technology. During school, younger Oliver found comfort in science. He was fascinated by the Yen periodic table at Museum of Natural History. Noticing this, his chemist Uncle Dave, nicknamed Uncle Tungsten, encouraged him to pursue chemistry. His mother was supportive too, sharing her insights from her medical practice and showing Oliver specimens of deceased brains and sperm fetuses. However, when Oliver became an adult, he disclosed his homosexuality to his family, a topic he openly discussed in his autobiography, On the Move Alive. This fact is shocking to his Orthodox Jewish parents, and he moved to the United States in 1960. During his time in San Francisco, he had a wonderful time. He first met the British expatriate poet Tom Gunn, who aroused Oliver's interest in writing. He then bought a motorcycle, went to a long distance road trip, and eventually settled down in the beach community of Venice. During his stay, he joined the fraternity of bodybuilders at Muscle Beach, and amazingly, he set a local powerlifting record and later decided to settle in New York City in 1966.
The first time I went there, my eye was caught by a bench press bar loaded with nearly 400 pounds. When I looked around, I saw no one on the Y who looked up to such a weight. No one, at least, until a short but hugely broad and thick-chested man, a white-haired gorilla, hobbled into the gym. He was slightly bow-legged, lay down on the bench, and by way of warm-up, did a dozen easy reps with a bench press bar. He added weights for subsequent sets, going to nearly 500 pounds. I got talking to him later. He was very genial. He told me that his name was Carl Norberg, that he was Swedish, that he had worked all his life as a longshoreman, and that he was now 70 years old. I felt inspired by Carl and determined to lift greater poundages myself, to work on the one lift I was already fairly good at, the squat. Training intensively, even obsessively, I worked up to doing 5 sets of 5 reps with 555 pounds every 5th day. The simplicity of this pleased me, but caused amusement at the gym, Sacks and his 5s. I didn't realize how exceptional this was until another lifter encouraged me to have a go at the California squat record. I did so diffidently, and to my delight was able to set a new record, a squat with a 600-pound bar on my shoulders. This was to serve as my introduction to the powerlifting world.
Sachs' academic journey was as diverse as the subjects he would later illuminate, graduating from Queen's College, Oxford in 1924 with a degree in biology and psychology. He went to earn his Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery from the Middlesex Hospital Medical School in London in 1958. After his announcement of sexuality, he embarked on his clinical studies in the United States, completing his neurology residency at esteemed institutions such as UCLA Medical Center and Mount Zion Hospital in San Francisco, where Sachs began to develop a deep fascination with the complexities of human brain. In 1966, he settled in New York City, where he would spend the majority of his career as a clinician, researcher, and writer.
Oliver Sacks was a titan in both the realms of clinical work and lecture, blending scientific inquiry with captivating storytelling. As a neurologist, he specialized in treating patients with rare neurological disorders and was known for his detailed and compassionate case studies of individuals with neurological conditions. His compassionate approach to patient care and clinical insight won him a lot of praise, including his advocacy for music therapy and the most respectable, his approach when understanding colorblindness.
You're next going to do, you're going to go to the island of Pingalap?
Well, I went to this little island and
This is for another book, is it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
This is a little coral atoll on the Pacific where congenital colorblind, being born totally colorblind, which is tremendously rare, 1 in 50,000 in the normal population, is common.
So most of the people there are colorblind?
Well, certainly there are 70 or 80 colorblind people, and there's, so to speak, a community who have had no concept of color for 2 centuries, and whose language and whose dress and whose horticulture, and they get along fine. And I think partly they think the rest of us are suffering from sort of chromatic hallucinations.
I mean, maybe this is the reason some people like black and white film or something, but what is it that fascinates you about them? I mean, why of all the things that you could be curious about, are you curious about them?
I'm damned if I know, but but there you are.
But then my second question is, all of a sudden you went there. Didn't you do something to your? What did you do?
Well, it's possible now, using a bit of technology, to buzz that part of the brain.
Well, how would you do it? How would you buzz that part?
Well, it's done with a magnetic device. It's done through the skull. It is
it done one time or done every day or what?
No, it's done one time.
And then so you can't, then your color perception is gone until you're buzzed again.
Yes, perhaps for 10 or 20 minutes.
Oh.
I want to know what Jonathan and I felt and saw. I want to know what all of my patients experience. It's not sufficient for me just to hear it and look at it. I want to sort of really dive in and experience it myself if I can. I think with this achromatopia, this knocking out the color areas, this one can.
Beyond his professional achievements, Sachs was a firm advocate for neurodiversity, championing acceptance and understanding for individuals with neurological difference. He emphasized the importance of recognizing the unique abilities and perspective of those with conditions such as synesthesia autism, Tourette syndrome, urging society to move beyond stigma and towards inclusion. Through the accessible language and profound insight, Sachs played a pivotal role in popularizing neuroscience, initiating public interest in the mysteries of the brain. His ability to convey complex scientific concepts in a relative manner inspired countless readers to develop a deeper appreciation for mysteries of a brain and wonders of human nature. Unfortunately, in January 2015, Metastases from ocular tumor were discovered in his liver. Sykes announced his development in a February 2015 New York Times op-piece and estimated his remaining time in a month. He expressed his intent to live in a richest, deepest, most productive way I can. Over the long course of human history, Oliver Sykes engraved his ways as a beacon of knowledge and understanding, guiding us on an ever-evolving journey of discovery.